Come on in. Take a seat. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon. I'm Keanu Reeves.
And I'm I'm Keanu Reeves.
Not today.
Okay. Today I'm Alexandra Grant.
And we are here to speak about and to sign, if you want, I guess, Ode to Happiness.
It is rare for a bookseller to have the pure pleasure of introducing a book that is beautiful in its conception, its presentation, and its production. I'm privileged, we are all privileged to be able to celebrate this beautiful new book in the presence of its author, its artist, and its publisher. The enormous collaborative effort that made this possible is testimony to the creative spirit of all the participants. Keanu Reeves, Alexandra Grant, and Gerhard Steidl are remarkable. Frank and Lisa Mark are amazing as facilitators of a constantly changing project. It takes a great deal of time and thought to make an exceptional book. It takes imagination, intelligence, and financial support. And like the greatest kinds of jazz improvisations, it takes a kind of creative magnet to be the spine, subtly activating and guiding the collaborative process. Gerhard Steidl, whose intuition is informed by experience, and whose calm authority is the embodiment of what the art of publishing is meant to be, has this graceful creative quality. His is a strict measure for the standard of excellence, and Steidl publications are impressive indeed. They honor my bookstore on the shelves all around us. Gerhard's books are intelligent and exceptional, as is he, and I'm genuinely thrilled that he's here. I am, of course, equally thrilled to have Alexandra Grant and Keanu Reeves. Alexandra Grant is a text-based artist who uses language and networks of words as the basis for her work in painting, drawing, and sculpture. She has been the subject of solo shows at MoCA and museums and galleries in the US and abroad. She's represented here by Honor Fraser Gallery, and she is the founding board chair and artist with the Watts House Project. Introducing Keanu Reeves seems sort of irrelevant, as he is already on the list of the top 10 of America's favorite stars. He's perhaps best known for his roles in Point Break and the science fiction action series The Matrix. In addition to his film roles, Keanu has also performed in theater, notably Hamlet, where he was praised as one of the top 3 Hamlets ever seen. Ode to Happiness is both a meditation and a gentle tease about how we cope with life's sorrows. The text externalizes what is typically an internal monologue, and the images reflect both the pathos and humor of the text. Neither entirely earnest nor wholly ironic, the book is ultimately completed by the reader, who brings his or her own experience to the interpretation. And so, we need a book. I'm going to ask Keanu to read the text to you, and then we can, I have a question for Alexandra about this collaboration.
Alexandra, will you read?
Yeah, sure. You should read it with me as well, right? You want to have a page that you like? Yes?
I
can
you
just-
need me to chime in. I'd love for you to go for it.
I know, but okay.
Should
But
we do it in chorus?
I don't know.
Okay.
But the work that we're gonna. Should we speak about the work now, or just
I
speak
want
about it
you to
after?
read the text first so that the people can hear what we're going to talk about.
Okay. Who has a book here?
Everybody has
Some people have some. Okay, open up your Ode to Happiness. This is going to be a little bit of a sing-along. Let's see. Okay, everybody have their. Okay, so maybe you can. Okay. Ode to Happiness. I draw a hot sorrow bath in my despair room, with a misery candle burning. I wash my hair with regret shampoo after cleaning myself with pain soap. I dry myself with my gorgeous white 100% and it will never change towel. and smooth on my I don't deserve lotion, and I hate myself face cream. Then I put on my alone again silk pajamas and go to sleep. When the hue is gone blue, and you can't quite grin and bear it, let this word picture remind you. It can always be worse.
So it started when Keanu wrote that poem and Alexandra read it. And Alexandra, I wanted to ask you, what caused you to respond as you did with these drawings? Was Keanu an old friend? Did you know him before? Were you expecting this?
Well, there's one person that we haven't thanked in the room, Janie Burgum, in the corner, who's we call her the editor of the book, but she's the magic connector, who is the reason that Keanu and I met to begin with on your birthday a few years ago. And this is going to be a long-winded answer, isn't it?
Well, no.
Okay, let's back up.
Okay. So Janie and I are sitting in my kitchen. We're hanging out. We're listening to some sad radio, some really sad radio, some songs that are just really. And Janie likes some sad songs, as we all love sad songs, but they just kept coming and coming. And so I started to doodle on this piece of paper, and it started with I draw a hot sorrow bath, and with a misery candle burning. And I just, it's that moment which I've seen a lot of people do where they just, they come home, they've got the blues for whatever reason, and they just retreat into their room. And then it just kept going. And so we started to laugh. It kind of made us laugh with this experience. And I handed the poem over to Janie the next day, and she took it, and I don't know what happened, but there's another part of the story.
And through some magic called email, I got a copy of the poem, and it took me a while to figure out what it was going to be. Because the work I make, if you know what I do, usually has a lot of color in it, and a lot of form. And I realized that this poem needed to be something else. It cried out to be almost a song. And I started imagining these little things, like what does a misery room look like? It's a little box with an unsmiley face, of course. And so I had sort of figured out that it was going to be a book and had some idea of the pictures and called Janie up and said, come to the studio, I need a hand. And we just threw it together. And it came about in this really beautiful way. But the thing that's remarkable about it is this book wasn't meant to be a public book. It really was meant to make you laugh. You're welcome. And the thing about it, though, is that some people have actually cried, but most people laugh. And everyone who laughed said, I want a copy, or I want 5 copies, or how can I get a copy of this? So we made the decision to find someone, and that was Gerhard Steidl, who could picture it. Putting the book, turning the artist book. Is he here? Oh, Gerhard Steidl, we're talking about you. Welcome. So our other collaborator, who the first time he saw the book, you ate it up with your eyes, and you said, I can see it in my head. And I knew that you were the person to make it come into the world. So could you tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with Keanu and me?
Why did you believe in me?
Well, you tried to take the book away with you in our first meeting, and I had to wrestle it back. So that was convincing.
No, as a publisher, you receive every day at least 10 or 15 submissions, and most of them which arrive today, they are already produced. It is a Blur book or an Apple book, and it is industrial made, yes, and for me these books have no soul. And when Alexandra and Keanu introduced this project to me, I had the vision that here is an open process. So there are some bricks, and with these bricks you are building up the house. And technically, if you are interested, we received the original drawings, we made scans, and before the artist arrived at my place in Göttingen, Germany, I did some tests on various papers for myself, just to know where I am. And when they were there, we did all the layout together. You know, I like very much the idea that publishing of Steidl books is a vertical process. So on the top floor in the library, the artists with the ideas are coming in, and then all the technical process is under one roof. And at the end, we have in the ground floor the big press rolling 24 hours a day, and there the book is printed. And so on the top floor, the idea is tumbling in, and downstairs, the book is tumbling down on the pallet. But in between, there is a process of discussion, what kind of materials you are using, we will use, and how does it look on this paper, on that paper, what kind of cloth you will use. And at the end, the way as we did it, I think it is an object of art which is really quite wonderful, and it is far away from any industrial produced book. And if you want to have a short overview about printing and publishing today, I think the graphic industry and the printing industry as it is existing now is really coming to an end, because something what is badly printed and badly produced, you don't need to have analog on paper. You can look it up on an iPad. But if there is an idea to go really on paper, then it must be extraordinary like this book, and then it will go its way into the world.
As you can tell, Gerhard has strong feelings, and as I said in my opening remarks, I think it's precisely that makes a good book. However, sometimes collaboration results in a peculiar power struggle, and I wondered if you, Keanu, tried to direct this, or you tried to influence it with your artistic process, or did Gerhard win all?
In the sense of everyone kind of spoke about what they were bringing to it, and that bringing the whole to it. I mean, since Gerhard was speaking last, you know, the original book that was presented to me as a gift from Janie, from Alexandra, didn't look like this. It was green. It was, you know, it was a kind of grown-up children's book, and when Gerhard says that he responded to that idea, it wasn't finished though. Because if he was going to work with us and we were going to work with him, he had something that he wanted to, that he felt something that could work. So this presentation, this case for the book is Gerhard's. And, you know, but he would always say, so you have this, you have this, you have this. What do you like? And then we would have a conversation and talking about the paper. You know, there's this and this. And invariably he would give you choices, but
You would always sort of be like,
but you would know that, but even the couple of times when we would go away, we'd go, but we wanted, the original book was green, right? But then he showed us this, and then somehow this, and the book would be here, but then this was there, and then this started to come in here, and then the green kind of just, and then he was right. And so in this kind of process, this collaborative process, you know, and looking at, you know, I mean, you can speak about this, but it's very difficult to get this, to try and create watercolor and ink on paper, to make it look like, you know, that Alexandra has done it is very fine, isn't it? I mean, just to get this the way it finishes out.
Technically, you know, the offset printing is a very, very poor printing technology. And it is hard to get good results. But if you work hard and you fight for it and you use all available technologies of today, you have quite an acceptable result. And in printing industry, they are using all standard papers and standard printing processes. But standards are wrong for objects of art. You know, art is an experiment, and art is dangerous, and art is explosive, and art hates everything what is a standard. Yeah? If you keep this in mind, then you are on the right track to create such an object. But you know, both of them, they are a little bit wrong when they said I tried to bring this in, because there is one detail of the book what you might not have been seen, that is a spine, and you know these.
I was a witness to this.
Yes. So Alexandra had the idea that there must be something on the spine, and I said that's just nonsense, because every book in the library went into the shelf like this, and you look to this side and never to the back side, so nobody will discover it. Yes. And then both said, you know, but it's a nice detail, and at the end they are the winners and I'm the loser, because I accepted it, because it is really, you know, like in haute couture, you look to a nice dress from a haute couture fashion house, but all the details, they are a little bit hidden, and when you look carefully, it is just the fabric inside and how it is manufactured. And as we are doing books of haute couture, it is a nice, interesting detail, what I accepted at the end, and now I love it a lot. So.
Keanu, you write? Is that something that you do?
I do now. I have to give more of an answer than that. Don't we all write? We all write. We all write. And I think the inspiration and how it came together brought this to something that made it somehow universal.
And do you think that is it because you work with text that you got that?
Well, I think that the voice in this book is really unique. You know, it's a very strong, very funny, wickedly funny voice, and it begged to have sort of a partnership in image, you know? Sorry. Did everyone hear that wonderful answer? But it really begged for a format and images that could show the sort of complete both the humor and the pathos of the text.
How did it feel to have Alexandra translate your words into images?
I was honored and entertained, and they make me laugh, and ouch. I mean, the paint so it's just fantastic. And you know, there's a literalness to them, and there's also an abstract quality to them, which I think plays nicely with the text, in the sense of it being personal, but also trying to take you outside of the event in a way. And I like the kind of black and gray and brown, whatever that is, and then this blue. So I enjoy them all the time. Every time I see them, they take me in.
And do you think that the text rather inspired your drawings, right?
Absolutely.
So does that just happen? Does that happen to you from time to time? You read the text and then feel compelled to make drawings, or do you normally put things up first?
I think every text you have, as a reader, you have a different response. So some books make you want to throw them across the room, and that can become, in my world, a painterly gesture, you know, on a canvas. That could be about erasing something. And this really made me want to, I don't know, it made me want to participate. It made me want to sing along. It made me want to match it, you know, and find a way to be. I mean, the thing about the original book it was in this old British touring book that I had. It said British scene in bright green. And then inside was this Japanese style, you know, sumi ink drawing. So it had these like two lives, and I feel like what the images do with the text is that they they're two lives, but that make something even greater. And that was the goal of that.
I think that really shows in the collaboration is that your individual realities, your individual personalities are not diminished in any way by the collaboration, and neither is Gerhart's, even though he had to give up with the spy.
He lost the spying war.
But in fact, the collaboration of all three really does create a unique book, a unique object that still is all of you.
I agree. I agree. You know, there were a few moments working with you that have been really extraordinary. The first I just want to note is when we got to Germany. And I think the third phrase you said to us was, "I am your jailer." And we sort of looked at each other and then looked at you and thought, oh my goodness, what have we gotten ourselves into? And that level of commitment to working through a series of problems so intensively, I just want to thank you for that. And then the other thing is I remember having a meeting in New York where we had all talked about what we'd done that day. And you had just color corrected a film, Keanu. And you had just printed silkscreen prints for Karl Lagerfeld, and I had just hung a show. And we had this conversation about color and light in each one of our fields. And I think in terms of this book, it was just so easy. The book almost had a life of its own. I've actually never participated in a collaboration where the book almost led us. The best solution always didn't come from any specific person, you know. It was like, I love the black thread has to stay. But there was this real sensibility of artists working together that was an extraordinary experience for me. So I just want to say thanks to both of you.
Yes. But you know, I'm coming back once more to the printing and publishing industry of today. A publishing house and a printer is nothing with the input of the artist. And of course an artist has a strong vision about a certain subject of work, sometimes over a long period. So a photographer is starting up a project and he's traveling 5 times to India and coming back with films or with digital media. He works on it, and then there is a publisher or a printer, and he or she has no vision at all, and he does not get the clue of the art and does not understand how it should be done. And then easily all the artwork can be ruined within a second. And I learned from one of my artists, Günter Grass, the writer of the Tin Drum. He said to me once, you in the printing industry and in the publishing industry should never forget that the artists are your work givers. And this is something what I deeply respect. Without an artist, we are nothing, we are zero. We have nothing to print, we have nothing to sell, we have nothing to publish. And so it is a minimum of respect to listen to the artist, what they want to have and what is their vision.
Do you mind if I cut this short, because you have so many people here to sign books? Do you want to say one last thing, or do you have something, have we left out some big remark about your next novel?
The next one? Yeah, hopefully, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So we are planning our next book. It will be called
Haikus of Hope.
Take two.